Hey, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So today we're going to do a pick a card, and the primary message we'll be taking from the Secrets of the Ancestors deck. Secrets of the Ancestors. Okay, so we're going to pull the 3 piles together. So I felt this one. And then the other cards, I'm going to pause it and pull off camera. Simply because I don't choose to have the video be too long. And it's funny that the Secrets of the Ancestors is the primary message that's giving for each pile. What else do you have for pile number 2, please? Because usually with the, okay, those are our 3 piles. Usually with the pick a card, and I haven't done one on the channel in a while, but usually with the pick a card, I give you the whole introduction to everything that's happening before I actually choose the... So basically I'm on camera and I allow you to see the entire shuffle and pull the cards. But there's something about secret. It's almost like even today I don't want to do extensive amount of talking. Like, this is the energy that I feel. It's like, say what needs to be said and then let it be. Now that's for someone. But it's also that with the video. It's like, I'm going to give you what's, for this message, quote unquote, necessary to be seen. And then not the extras. So some of you don't want the fluff when it comes to a situation, when it comes to your communication. You're wanting to get, I'm hearing straight shooter. Like, get to the point. Don't give me the extra. What is it? So say what you need to say. That's what I'm getting. Say what you need to say. Make it clear. Okay. Now, for group number 1, or if you're going to choose group number 1, we have risk it all. I need that phone. You can't really see. Risk it all, it says. Root of fire. And then group number 2, yours is the, let me see if I can get that more clear. Junbi with total disruption. I feel like I need to move the lamp. And group number 3, yours is the twins with consciousness. Conscious connections. Hold on, let me see if I can adjust the lighting first. Okay, hopefully that's a little better. So let me introduce you again to the piles. Group 1, it's root of fire with risk it all. Okay. Group 2, you have Junbi with total disruption. And group 3, you have the twins with conscious connection. So I hope you could see that a tad bit better. Okay. So, wow, I'm going to leave that with group 2 since that's where it fell. Okay. Yeah. So the rest of the shuffling for the decks, I'm going to do off camera, and then I'll unpause it when I'm ready to give you the messages, okay? I'm only taking what turned over for that one. Okay. don't know. Seems like maybe I'm supposed to do this part on camera. I don't know. Let's see. Group 1. Okay, so let me finish setting up the rest of the messages, and then I'll be right back with you. Okay. Okay, welcome back. We have all of the messages. So group 1 again was Root of Fire with Risk It All. These are your cards. Group 2 was Jumbi with Total Disruption. And group 3 is the Twins with Conscious Connection. Okay? So three. 2, 3. Okay, group 1. Your key card, key message, key focus is the Root of Fire with Risk It All. So some of you guys may not be speaking a lot, but you're willing to take a chance or being encouraged to take a chance. You also have communication using the 4 clairs. They only said 4 clairs. It says the universe is sending you a never-ending stream of messages to help you. Feeling bad about yourself, spend time with people who are kind to you. Okay. Then you have the Dragon with Power. You have Self-Awakening. You also have Grounding. You have Be the Light with the White Witch. You have Heartbeat. You have Honor Your Inner Knowing with Medicine Mother. You also have Sacred Healing with the Medicine Drum. The F Word. And Jackpot. Oh, you got a lot of the words. Magic Carpet and Bunny Hop Jive as well. Okay. And you have Reveal the Peacock Beauty. Have an attitude of gratitude. You have the Ewaz rune with Horse. DNA with Karma. Summoning Power. You have 2 cards about power, but we'll get into that in a moment. I'm actually going to put those together. Honor Your Inner Knowing, Power, and Summoning Power. You have Milky Way with Perspective, Forest with Breath, and autumn equinox with release. You also have the rainbow waterfall with miracles. Medicine mask with authenticity. Meadow with vulnerability. Setting boundaries. The linden tree. Your crystal is the fluorite. And then you had abundance, the silver waterfall, and commitment. Okay. So group number one, as I was saying, with Risk It All, Root of Fire being your initial message. Before I started the message, I said some of you didn't want to like a lot of talk. You just wanted to straight talk. You wanted to get right to the source of whatever it is that needs to be said or done, right? And so with Risk It All, Root of Fire here, many of you are ready to go all in, or you're being encouraged to like go all in, take a risk. Like, this is an ancestor card, so your ancestors, for those of you who chose group number one and chose this Risk It All, it's like you came from a very connected bloodline, like especially with DNA being out here. Didn't I see that? Yeah, DNA with karma. So it's like the ancestors that you're connected to, that are speaking to you at the present moment, that are giving you messages, especially with communication of the four clairs, right? So you're receiving messages all the time. And it's like, whatever it is that you're going forward with, wanting to take a risk on, being encouraged to take a risk on, it's like, don't tiptoe about it, go all in. So if you're an activist and there's something you want to see changed and you're willing to step into the role of being a leader and being the change you want to see in the world, then your ancestors are saying they got your back. Go full steam ahead. Like, don't tiptoe about it. Say what you need to say, do what you need to do, and be all right with it. Some of you are getting dreams, and in your dreams, it's like some of you may see things. So I get this energy that it could be like a premonition for some of you, but some of you possibly take it as it resonates, because I have the signs, I have the white light, and honor your inner knowing, right? So there's something that some of you have received as a message in your dreams, right? This isn't for everyone. And for some of you who, when you're in your dream state, you've seen something that is harmful, toxic, or not beneficial, whatever it is, you have the ability to actually change, to shed light or be the light, or infuse that situation with white light in a way of healing. That's what this sacred healing is all about. So it's like some of you have to ground your energy and ground the things that you've seen in the dream state, and know that you actually have the ability to infuse anything that feels negative, anything that is not beneficial. And some of you are also finding ways to protect yourself when in the dream state from anything that is coming towards you. Some of you are just becoming aware of this, or this message is allowing you to become aware of this. This is one of the ways the universe is sending you a message. It's the universe, God, the Most High, is always sending us never-ending messages, right? You may be receiving them in your dream state. It may be when you're meditating. You may just be in the right place at the right time to hear something. But this is about being the light. And this being the light means for many of you that you have the wisdom. Whether it's just running in your DNA, or this is something that you're developing as a skill, because we all have the ability of the clairs, clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizant, clairvoyance, right? Some of us are more pronounced in one or two of the others more than the others, right? So you can always strengthen those skills and abilities, though, by honoring your inner knowing, following your heartbeat. Many of you are also tapping into your power as you're coming more into this spiritual awakening, and you're able to now forgive certain situations that have occurred. You found a way, for some of you, even in the dream state, to infuse forgiveness in certain situations. It may have been difficult for you to do so in the 3D, but whenever you're in a dream state, you find a way to infuse certain situations with light. Some of you are finding ways, as you're having this spiritual awakening, of connecting with others that are on the same vibration as you. And I'm hearing like teamwork makes the dream work. So there's this essence of summoning power, summoning intellect. The power that many of you have for group number 1, it's not just based on the intellect, but you are a very intellectual group is what I'm getting. You're also a group that trusts their instincts, right? And so this is where whenever you're feeling bad, or someone is, for whatever reason, sending negative energy towards you, you're able to transmute that energy, to be the light, infuse it with white light. This is giving you more control of self. This is allowing for this spiritual awakening to really manifest and feel like it is a jackpot. This is bringing in the abundance, because you have an abundance of awareness about how to now move through certain situations that may have felt toxic or have been able to lower your vibration in the past. And many of you are also just stepping into the instinct and the awareness of knowing that the company you keep. So spending more time with people who are kind to you, not people that are going to be jealous or envious or speak down to you, especially if you're already tough on yourself and you're feeling bad about yourself. The last thing you need is someone else to try to poke at the holes within you. They want to tear it open and make it that much bigger. So instead, many of you are hopping on your magic carpet and staying aligned with your energy. You're tapping into your physical body. If it doesn't feel good, You're not staying in that place. If it doesn't feel good, you're not connecting with that person. That's one of the reasons you have the fluorite crystal here, because it's one of those crystals that help you to align the chakras. It helps you to stay in alignment with honoring your inner knowing. It allows you to tap into your instinct, feeling where your heart is most at peace. If it feels like it's in flight or flight when you're in a certain place, when you're with certain people. For some of you, if your heartbeat feels off, you're knowing that you need to release that group, that person, that place. You just want the authentic feeling of abundance around you. So when something feels off, you're not tapping into that energy. If it feels off in your physical body, you're removing yourself from people, places, things. Setting boundaries. You don't feel the need to people please. If there's something you can't do in the moment, you're okay with saying no. And if you're not, these are the things that are being encouraged for you to do. If there are things that you've been noticing in the dream state, it is now time, or you're being encouraged to find a way to infuse that with switching it up. You can switch up a scenario in your dream state. You have that power and that ability. This is what many of you are becoming more awakened to. For some of you, it's about relationships and the commitments that you have. You just want more abundant relationships. And some of you are going to realize or tap into this energy where you're able to infuse certain situations with light, and it's going to feel like a miracle. Like, wait, you mean I didn't have to necessarily experience it like that? And you don't, because we're co-creators, right? Now, that's not to say that everything is going to be able to be diverted. You know what I mean? Like, we go through some things just to grow and to be strengthened. But a lot of times it's our thoughts and our words. If something doesn't feel right or it feels off, many of you are now more aware of this. So again, you're choosing people that are kind. You're choosing to forgive the ones that were not, but you also don't have to stay where you're not wanted, where you're not appreciated. And you're forgiving yourself for staying in situations where you knew for the longest of time you were not wanted and or appreciated. And many of you stayed because something inside of you, so like you may not have known that you had the ability to infuse situations with light. Now you're able to handle certain things better. You become more spiritually awakened. For some of you, more spiritually mature, right? You're able to change your perspective now. And that's why the forgiveness is coming easier. Now, again, don't get it twisted. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to subject yourself to the same people, places, or energy that still doesn't know how to appreciate you or hasn't grown. It's about you forgiving yourself and then knowing how to choose better by setting boundaries, and choosing better by connecting with those that know how to be kind. Kindness is not a weakness. And people that take your kindness for a weakness, those are the ones you'll recognize that you need to remove. I get it in this society today. People will see you as kind and they'll see it as you're weak, you know? And they want to take advantage of it. But you're learning with this spiritual awakening to feel this out more quickly and remove yourself. Sometimes the best gift you can give someone is the removal of yourself, so that they can go through their own awakening. But many of you are taking this chance. You're going all in. on having this spiritual awakening and honoring your inner knowing, forgiving yourself, and healing and infusing healing light into any situation where you showed your vulnerability and someone thought you were weak. You're able to release that now so that you can authentically step into your purpose, fully more spiritually aware. And that's a big part of this message for you. Being able to risk it all by forgiving, by learning your boundaries, and still being able to be in power and in peace. Being able to be in power and in peace. Because there's some people that take power and think that power means you gotta bash heads, you gotta go hard with it, you gotta take a mofo out. But there's something about peace. That peace that surpasses understanding, that's a real power. And some of you coming into that, that's a miracle for you. When you were someone who would clap back, had a short temper, ready to go off, ready to give it back, you're finding a way to literally still speak what it is you need to say, setting a boundary in a healthy way, and still be at peace. That's not always an easy thing to do. Okay, so group number 1, continue to release whatever needs to be released, knowing that you are always in communication with the universe. So if there's ever anything you need to know, you're not sure of, tap into your clairs or just simply ask. We're always receiving messages. And know that for many of you, and it's not for everyone, but many of you do have the power, because you are a co-creator with the universe, right? You're a co-creator with the Most High, right? You have the power to infuse certain situations with light and literally change the outcome of that. Some of you receive certain messages in your dream state so that you can make others aware of certain things. Now, this isn't to put them in a state of alarm, so be very discerning with how you give them the insight that you've received, but you're literally receiving things in your dream state so that you can keep it from, so that basically you can warn the person. So if you're seeing something bad happen in a dream, you're able to change the situation so that a better outcome can occur. And when you're giving warnings to those that are involved, again, be careful not to alarm them, but let them know that you have infused the situation with white light. Some of you have that ability, you have that power, and you're honoring your inner knowing as you're awakening to this spiritual ability that you have, okay? That's your message, group number 1, and that's why it feels like a jackpot and a magic carpet ride, because you're like, wait, I have this ability? Yes. Many of you, you do. You have this ability to infuse a harmful situation that you've been made aware of and surround it with white light to offer a very type of sacred healing. Okay? So that's been your message, group number 1. I want to thank you guys for joining me. And continue to be the light. Continue to infuse the light. Continue to spend time with people that are kind. And don't be afraid to risk it all. How does the saying go? On the other side of that fear, when you take that risk, that leap of faith, That could be just where the abundance is. Or for some of you, the commitment is. All in all, remember to have that attitude of gratitude, and that peace is a very powerful thing. Okay, group number 1, that's your message. Peace is powerful, and your insight about keeping peace is powerful. Okay? And even when things look like they're going left, remember to still have the attitude of gratitude. One, because it may not seem like there's much you can do, but miracles can happen, okay? Okay, so that was group number 1. And again, your crystal to assist you with taking a risk for it all is the fluoride. And it stimulates the crown chakra, and it brings energy into the physical body, okay? Especially for those of you who are feeling bad about yourself. Fluorite could be one of those crystals to assist you with balancing out those chakras, okay? So that's group number 1. Group number 2, your key card, key energy, key focus is the Junbi with total disruption. You also have great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. You have the elder with move beyond ancestral patterns. You have the wrecking ball. You have beauty. Your crystal is the citrine. You have the Tao. You also have soul awakening. I think group number 1 had soul awakening as well. From a different deck though. And you have dating. Offerings with wealth. Sea creatures with immersion. Insects with support. South with abundance. Group number 1 got abundance too. So some of you for group number 2 may feel led to listen to group number 1. You have lower world with past, and birth with renewal. You have feel joy in all you do. You also have the Anzu's rune with Godmouth. You have LGs with elk. Music with harmony. You also have healing earth, the power to give and receive healing. You have harvest with gather the blessing. You have calming the waters with peaceful self-regulation. And your nature card is the elm tree. Okay. So group number 2 with your key card, key energy being the Junbi. Card number 13. Still learning this deck, so some of it I'm going to look up sometimes, okay? But the energy of the June being total disruption. Disruption gives me the energy of like things being all in disarray, thrown around, mangled for some of you. It's just like, even when you look at this card, there's a planet that's on the ground. Right here, there's a planet there. And it's like, I don't know if it's falling from the cosmos. So some of you may have felt like you've fallen, like you're not stable within self with this Junbi and total disruption. But this is a total disruption because it's bringing forth change. Like everything many of you have gone through, it wasn't for naught is what I'm getting. You even have the wrecking ball here. So it's like a lot of things were torn down. But it's like, even though there's total disarray and there's a wrecking ball, it came, and it came in the form of you being protected with the Owl Guy's room here in Elk. It came so that you could recognize the things that you say with God mouth here, so that you know that you can speak abundance. It came because many of you are having a soul awakening. And so you went through some disarray, especially in the past for many of you. It's like the total disruption was you having to go into your psyche, into your shadow self. Some of you may have even felt like you had a dark night of the soul. But it's also like you found your power. You found the power to give and receive healing. You found the power to regulate self. And if you haven't, then this is what you're being encouraged to see the beauty of, is the fact that you've gone through all of these things, and they came so that you could be a great teacher, so that you could learn from these experiences. They really were spiritual experiences for many of you, and it came so that you could have this soul awakening, an awakening to how you have the power of life and death in your tongue. We have God mouth here, and with the Anzu's rune here. So it's like you sent a message in a bottle out. You threw it out into the ocean. You felt like you were alone, but you're not, because you always were taken care of with the do you see how like these hands are cradling the world? So like you may have felt like you were all alone out there on your own doing it, and everything around you is falling apart. And some of you, you cried out. You shed tears is what I'm getting. Because if you're on an island by yourself, you don't know what was in the water. So some of you felt like you were surrounded by sharks, I'm getting. But it's really like you were being protected. Owl Guy's rune here, right? And even though you couldn't see that you were protected, it's like it was coming so that you could usher in all of this abundance. For many of you, it came so that you could release past life things. But in order to know of these past life incidents, you had to go into the shadows of your mind. You had to be willing to allow everything to just be ripped up. So same way when you're planting a garden, you go in and you till the soil. You rip up the weeds. So some of you ripped up the weeds from your heart. You ripped the weeds from your mind. You went in. And for some of you, you went in so deep. Do you see how this is like a cave? You went into the caves of your mind so deep that you disrupt everything your subconscious thought that it knew that it was going to keep from the past, and you reprogrammed it. Now you did this with the help of the divine creator source, and it's so that you could bring in the abundance. You now are able to reap the harvest of everything that you've gone through. It was not for naught. You didn't go through it just to be going through it. There was a purpose behind this. And for many of you, it took you learning how to be peaceful within self. One of the things you've gained when everything was going left, right, up, down, felt like a hurricane and the whole tsunami that put you out on an island by yourself, You learn to breathe and stay calm for many of you. And that's big. You had to be like alone for some of you so that you could see who was actually support for you. So that you could totally immerse yourself in going into the psyche of your mind, going into the caves, going deep into the subconscious, going deep and tapping into those things you've bought for many of you in group 2 from past lives. Now you're able to know that not only are you supported by the Most High, you're supported by even the insects, the trees with the wisdom you receive, nature. You have a whole support team where you always felt alone. It's like I see someone on an island and like even the bees were showing you like where to get honey, and like certain flowers that were edible to help you be able to sustain yourself. You may have felt like you were immersed so deep in the ocean that you'd never be able to come up for air. But it really all happened so that you could have this soul awakening. And now many of you are aware of the fact that you really can give and receive healing. Now, before you might have felt like you couldn't do this, like, is that even possible? But now you're able to calm yourself down, calm yourself when you feel like you're in fight or flight, and tap into that energy of finding the peace within, regulating yourself, even with your communication. And if you're not, then this is what you're being encouraged to do. Don't be so quick to snap at the tongue. Oh God, why you let this happen to me? Why am I going through this? I shouldn't have to go through this. I've been serving you my whole life. Why are my dating scenarios always going left and these people treat me like this and it's happening, baby love, because it was time for your soul to awaken. It's just as simple as that. You had wrecking balls. You've had dating scenarios. You've had immense moments of being alone for those of you here in group number 2. And through it all, you still were protected. If you take a moment now and look back at the past, I'm sure many of you can see the beauty in having those experiences and how you're able to now be a great teacher because you've literally experienced certain things. So you're not just talking about it, you actually had the experience. And you know what's even more? You came through the experience to a point of having harmony. Some of you are making songs about this, making music about this, the experiences that you've had. You're finding a way to find the wealth in it. You're feeling more wealthy within self. I heard somebody say your health is not your wealth, but you can have all the money you want, and if you're not healthy and you spending it on doctors, then what? I don't know, but it's about, for you guys, your mind. You were able to not stay with the programs that told you you're always going to be this way. You're never going to have a successful relationship. You're always going to have to struggle when it comes to your finances or this and that. And it's like many of you have found a way to heal that. You're finding a way to actually find the joy in all that you do, the ups, the downs, the isolation, the times of when you feel in harmony and the times when you don't. It's like you've tapped into life force energy with the Tao here. And your crystal, being the citrine, that's all about your confidence. Citrine is one of those crystals for the solar plexus. And it energizes because it carries that energy of magnifying your energy. It magnifies the positivity and enhances your aura. So many of you are now like, your aura feels more abundant, you feel more supported, and you know how to move beyond the ancestral patterns. You know how to move beyond past life patterns. And if you're not, then this is a message that is encouraging you to know that all the ups, the downs, the isolation, everything you've gone through, group number 2, the word of encouragement is that you're going through it for a reason. Many of you are becoming great teachers. You'll be able to share your experiences with others, whether this just be through communication, whether it be through music, or whether they're just watching your life and how you're able to find peace within, even through all of the ups and downs. And I get for many of you, you felt isolated, and some of you literally were isolated. Sometimes the divine sets you apart so that you can commune, to have that soul awakening, commune with your spirit guides, your ancestors, the Most High, so they can get you on this path for your soul awakening. And now many of you are, because you've gone through so much, you're like now in this energy of gathering a harvest. It's the time of renewal for you. Some of you, there's going to be a renewal of you getting back out there and dating. For some of you, take it as it resonates. Some of you now have more wisdom to share with others about dating, in whatever way, shape, or form that comes for you. But all in all, group number 2, your message is saying that everything you went through, it wasn't for naught, and it came so that you're becoming a great teacher. You've had a soul awakening, or you're going through a soul awakening, and this soul awakening is so that you can literally rip, like delete, control, alt, and delete your subconscious mind and reprogram it with the abundance, with a renewing of the mind, with peace, with giving and receiving healing, so that you can feel joy in all that you do instead of feeling like things are always going wrong. How does it saying? A setback is just a setup. And many of you have been set up for abundance, set up for joy, set up for a harvest, set up to gather blessings, set up to be able to speak peace. It's like you'll be able to speak peace to others when they're going through certain things. And it's coming from experience. You're not just talking out of the side of your neck. You literally have words of wisdom that you can offer to others. But it came at a price, group number 2. It did. You guys went through a dark night of the soul, possibly like in no other. But this soul awakening put you in that much more of a place of abundance and harmony. And many of you, your ancestors are cheering you on because you have moved beyond ancestral patterns. Okay, group number 2, so that's been your message. Thank you for joining me. And if you feel led in the comments, let us know some of the things, the experiences you've gone through, that you can now look back at it and see the joy and or the beauty in it, right? Because at one point you probably couldn't see what the beauty was. Like, why am I going through this? But now you sit back and you have to actually give thanks for some of the wrecking balls that came to tear certain things down. Just so you, the divine thought that great of you, group number 2, so that you could have this soul awakening, to gather a harvest, to gather blessings, to have abundance, and to be able to not only receive healing, but to give healing. Whether this be through your hands, Reiki, being a doctor, being a masseuse, whether this be through your words, offering words of wisdom, through your songs, through your music, giving and receiving healing frequencies. Okay? Okay, group number 3. Group number 3, you guys have for your key card, key message, the twins with conscious connection. Your crystal is the carnelian. You have intimate relationships. Friendship is the foundation of any good relationship. So both of those cards are a 6. And that's significant for someone. 6 and 6. And then this is 5 with new opportunities. Some exciting new opportunities are coming up for you. Okay, well, hey. Universal light. You also have traveler with move in a new direction. You have knock knock. Who's there? Living large. Got an owie. And chaos. Okay, well, let's find out what that is. Success. Call of the dancing crane. And many hands of the goddess. Self-mastery. Compatibility. Beauty. This was also in group number 2 from another deck. I'm actually feeling like all the messages are connected now. Fire with passion. Cave with retreat. Upper world with future. Middle world with present. Shapeshifter with perspective. And lodge with counsel. You also have ask for guidance. You have radio with will. Rado with will, rado. Eagle with communion. Hey, I just realized I didn't put no tarot out for the decks. And I meant to do that. You have Yao. Oh, man. Well, I still feel like the messages came forth properly. But that I did intend to do that. Divine Feminine. You also have lightning with power, green man with synergy, rainbow with blessings, and tree with grounding. So, group number 3, with twins and conscious connections coming out first. Your reading is totally about connecting with others, whether this be family or just friends, but it's telling you or suggesting that there's going to be new opportunities to make connections with others. For some of you, this is going to be intimate relationships. But basically, group number 3, you guys deserve to be loved fully and completely on your own terms. And for some of you, this hasn't always felt like that's been the case. That's why you got an owie here. When it came to your relationships and the people you were connecting to, it's like many of you felt like you were connecting to nothing but chaos agents and people that just wanted to bring chaos and dismay into your life. Now, we can make order out of chaos, and many of you are in the essence of doing that. You're taking the present moment and realizing whatever has occurred up until this present moment. So whatever past chaos you have, you're not allowing that to infect, I just heard, your present moment. You're attracting, because you've been in self-mastery, you're attracting those that, twins here, look like you, have the same vibe as you, that you're able to connect with, have the same vibration as you, right? Those that you're compatible with. The twin energy here represents love on many levels. So, ancestral love, familiar love, pets, friendships, romantic and intimate. It's like many of you are choosing, because of the present moment, to move forward, to have future successful relationships. So some of you may be taking time to self, to analyze, to commune with the divine, to ask for guidance, because you've had a lot of past hurt and you've had some chaos, and it felt like lightning bolts were striking every time you got into a relationship. And for many of you, it doesn't matter. It's not just romantic relationships. Some of you feel betrayed by family and by friends, right? But it's like that was the past. You're stepping into this present moment and you're saying no more. You're choosing, because you've mastered self, and if you haven't, you're in the essence of mastering self. In this essence of mastering self, you're tapping into what makes you feel passionate, and you're wanting to have that reciprocated within your relationship. So if there's no equal give and take, if there's always chaos and you're not resonating with that, then you're moving in a new direction. Things are unfolding for you. Many of you are, I'm getting this is going to happen recently. Like coming up, there's these new opportunities. Some of you, an opportunity to take a trip. Some of you may meet people on a trip. For some of you, you have a lot of projects going on, and you're going to meet people that are of the same vibration that are going to help you to establish these projects, to get things done. You're attracting this to you, and if you're not, you're being encouraged to ask for guidance as to whom it is that should be assisting you, whom it is that should be a part of your friendships, your relationships, your business. It's okay to ask for guidance. I get for many of you, and this might be before many of you were before you were more spiritually aware as you are now, right? Some of you are now recognizing how the connections you have, the people you're connected to, because what I'm seeing is like, before you might have been like, oh, that's what they do, I'm going to just do me and that's not going to affect me. But you're recognizing that other people's energy in an offset kind of a way can affect you. Now, that's not to say that they have any control over you, but there is this essence of being slowed down in a way that if you're carrying dead weight, oh, I don't want to say that. If you're carrying more than your share of concern, burdens for some of you, then it makes it harder for you to move a little bit faster. Now, in some scenarios, many of you are okay with carrying certain burdens, right? Because it's not always that you want to move fast and far. Sometimes it's the joy of going into a path with those that you're compatible with, because it creates a longevity, right? But sometimes those that aren't able to match your vibration and offer that reciprocity can slow a project down, can slow your forward movement down. And so many of you are now becoming more aware of when that is occurring. And so now in the present moment, you're choosing to have compatible relationships. You're choosing to have a vibration that resonates with you. You have new opportunities coming where there'll be many hands to assist you. Some of you, it may be a knock on the door. But either way, it's like in the present moment, you're setting up to have a more successful future. So some of you have had to travel in a new direction. Literally, you may have been going one way and you decided to change your flight and go in another direction. Some of you moved in a direction from others that you were connected to because it wasn't compatible. Some of you are being encouraged. You know what? Because I didn't do any tarot, let's find out what the chaos was all about and what the God and Owie was all about. Because you're finding how all things work together. Even the chaos and the hurt played a part in you moving towards success. And how I'm getting this is because you know what you don't want, you know now more of what you do want. So you don't want people that bring a lot of chaos in your life. You don't want a lot of people that are just out to hurt you with their words and their actions. And because you're able to recognize that vibration now, you're able to now move in another direction towards people that are compatible. Okay? But let's find out, what is this chaos? What was the chaos for group number 3? Thank you. Burden. See? You overcarrying your amount of the project or whatever it is. Anything else before I... Oh, what was that? Anything else? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. And we have a King of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Okay, this one, Knight of Swords. We have the King of Cups come out upside down with the 8 of Swords. We had the 10 of Wands come out by itself. We had 6 of Cups, 5 of Swords, King of Wands. And in this deck we had, and this Ace of Pentacles was not upside down, so that's interesting. We have the 9 of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the 5 of Wands. So, oh wait, and one fell down. The Judgment, it was kind of sideways, so I'm not sure. But the chaos was you carrying burdens, carrying more than your share. This happened in the past for some of you because you were dealing with people that would do anything to win at all costs, that were emotionally unavailable, quick with their words, and there was conflict and competition. So you decided to move in a new direction. No more feeling like the wounded warrior and not giving this another opportunity. You weren't sure about making this direction. This is where the chaos went. And so now many of you are moving in a new direction. You're moving towards projects, people, relationships that feel successful, feel abundant, and you're not bringing the chaos and the confusion. You're setting firmer foundations. And for some of you, you're going to be friends with, being friends with partners before you're intimate with them, because friendship is a foundation. You can be someone's lover, but if they can't stand you or they don't like you or you can't communicate with them, so you're not even a friend, but you already jumped into bed with somebody. So you sexually compatible, but are you compatible in any other way? This is a part of the self-mastery for many of you. For some of you, you had to come into self-mastery because there were some even in your bloodline that didn't even know how to love you or even recognize what love is. And many of you are tapping into the universal light of having a loving vibration, setting foundations where friendship is the success that's making the project. Like if you don't have a firm foundation in your relationship of actually knowing the person you're with, then how do you build up from there? So it's compatibility that many of you are seeking in the present moment, so that in the future things are moving that much better. Some of you are connecting with like those who have more adept knowledge, universal light. Some of you ascended masters, like you're communing with energetic forces, ethereal forces, right? And for some of you, there's actually even talk, intermissions, transmissions about your self-mastery and how you've grown, seeing the success and how you're able to tap into your passions and change your perspective about things. And this is bringing in blessings, like because many of you are able to tap into your power. It took a very powerful mind and heart to be able to shift certain perspectives. Some of you could have closed yourself off and decided you didn't even want to try or have to try. You could have just been like, it is what it is, and kept it pushing. But instead, you decided to work on yourself, tap into self-mastery, and now travel in a new direction, meaning even in your mind and in your heart, because you didn't let your heart get hard and you didn't let your mind get clogged with the things from the past. You recognize that the past was the past, but you can still travel in a new direction. So now with these new opportunities that are coming up for many of you, you're now knowing how to step into successful relationships of all kind, right? You're not holding on to the past hurt. And that's not always an easy thing to do. A lot of people, when they've been hurt, you know, get stuck in that place. Yeah, regeneration. Instead of staying stuck in the hurt and the chaos, you regenerated yourself with your mind. You connected with spirit. You tapped into universal wisdom. And now it's like you are grateful for the present moment, because you recognize in this present moment, this is what all you have. This is what you have to create the abundance. This is what you have to create success. And when these new opportunities present themselves, you guys are going to run with it. And it is creating a future Things are unveiling around you. You're in the flow, like on the dance floor with the divine. You're in the dance of life. So it's like you're not regretting the past. You're actually elevated your mind by tapping into universal wisdom, connecting with those that have wisdom when you weren't able to, whether this was going through therapy, whether this was connecting through spiritual advisors, through your spirit team, to the Most High, to your ancestors. You knew that you were able to ask for guidance and you would receive the clarity and the wisdom that you needed. And when you got it, group number 3, you guys move with integrity and truth. And if you haven't, this is what you're being encouraged to do. To tap into the truth of your heart and freely know that it is okay to be balanced and open up, to release any hurt. We all have had some hurt, but are you going to allow the hurt to be the thing that keeps being the foundation of your relationships? Or are you now willing to set that foundation sturdy and firm by knowing that successful relationships are possible and friendship can be as a beneficial foundation of any relationship? Okay, group number 3. So take whatever time you need to yourself, to be with self and connect with the divine, to connect with the energy and the wisdom that you need to ask for any guidance. But after you've spent some time to yourself, don't let the hurt of the past keep you from connecting with others. There is some great abundance that is happening for many of you. Some of you, like I said, literally may be traveling as you meet someone, or someone is going to ask you to whatever, come to build a foundation in business, come to start a friendship, whatever it is for your scenario. Okay, group number 3, group 3, 2, and 1, I want to thank you guys for joining me. Group 3, that has been your reading. Remember to always shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you are still amongst the stars. And to always, 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 always let your light shine bright. This has been another voyage of the Enterprise. I want to thank you for joining me. And remember, your likes, shares, and subscribes are always greatly appreciated. Thank you.